Most men wake up every day and lose. Not to an enemy, not to the circumstances of their life. They lose to themselves. The alarm clock goes off, right? They hit snooze. They feel like a prisoner to their own life. A temptation comes in. They give in. Pornography doesn't affect my marriage, right? One more drink just doesn't matter. The hard conversations that we need to have, we avoid. And here's the lie we've been told, that discipline is about willpower. Some men just have it and some don't. But that's not what the Bible teaches. In Proverbs 25:28, like a city whose walls are broken through is a man who lacks self-control. No walls, no defense, everything gets in. Last episode, we talked about what happens when a godly man falls. Today, we're going to talk about what keeps him standing. Let me welcome you to Masculine to the Core and the Man in the Arena podcast. This is Mark Masculinity. Before I get going with session number 2 of our 3-part series on Christian Masculinity, I'd love to invite you, if you haven't yet, to step into the arena and subscribe to get more about what we're all about here at Masculine to the Core, empowering husbands, fathers, and businessmen with resources to purposefully create a God-centered, fulfillment-driven life. So, here's what most men don't understand about discipline. You think the problem is that you're weak. You have a weakness, that you don't want something badly enough. If you could just try harder, you'd get control of it. My brother, that's not the problem. The problem is that you've been fighting the wrong battle. Discipline is not about saying no to the wrong thing. It's about being so full of the right thing that there is no room left for the wrong thing. Discipline is not something that you do occasionally. Discipline is a spiritual strength we must all develop. It's not just what you do or don't do, it's a way of life. You don't discipline yourself into godliness. You pursue God with all your heart, and discipline is what follows. The Apostle Paul uses a specific image when he talks about discipline, and it's not what you'd expect from most religious teachers. 1 Corinthians 9. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. In a world that wants us to believe that competition is a bad thing, that meritocracy is a bad thing, Scripture tells us run in such a way to win the prize. You know, I talk about it in the book Masculine to the Core. Competition is one of the 4 universal characteristics. It's a character trait that God gave to every man. It's not a bad thing. It's the thing that drives us. Again, most men are just fighting or competing for the wrong things. We stand toe-to-toe with our work battles, but would choose to fight with our wives instead of for our marriages. In verse 27, Paul says, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified. Listen to that. Paul, the apostle who wrote half of the New Testament, disciplines his body because he understands grace is not an excuse to be soft. Let me say that again. Grace is not an excuse to be soft. Godly men do not drift. Godly men do not wake up and hope for the best. They train their mind so they won't be like the rest of the mentally weak men. They train their body so physical health and longevity will give us the opportunity to not just perform, but to win. Godly men train spiritually. Spiritual toughness comes from discipline. A disciplined mind, a disciplined body creates a disciplined spirit. Now, I want to tell you why discipline doesn't stick for most men. It's not complicated. You're trying to build discipline on a foundation of comfort. Listen to this. You cannot build discipline on a foundation of comfort. You want the result without the process. You want the healthy, fit body without the 5 a.m. alarm clock. You want the spiritual strength without the daily time in Scripture. You want the prize without the consistency of running the race. My brother, it doesn't work that way. It's never worked that way. Will never work that way. Meritocracy, you get what you are willing to pay the price for. Jesus said it plainly. Whoever wants to be my disciple must take up their cross daily and follow me. Daily, not once, not when you feel like it, daily. You see, the word disciple and the word discipline come from the same root. You can't be a disciple without discipline. They are the same thing. And let me tell you, here's what scares most men. Discipline means you don't always get what you want when you want it. A disciplined man can delay gratification. He says no to the impulse. He does the thing he doesn't feel like doing because he already knows who he is and what he wants. Willing to do what most men won't, to have what most men don't. That's not repression. That, my brother, is freedom. The man who can't say no to himself is a slave. The man who has trained himself so that he can say no is the man who is free. So, how do you actually build this? I'm going to give you 3 things you can start tomorrow. And this is some practical advice I put in our 60 Quest program. I call it the path to take complete control of your life in 60 short days. First, get started. The journey never begins without the first step. Start with the morning. You win or lose the day in the first 30 minutes. Instead of reaching for your phone and checking your email, spend some time in Scripture. You can read the entire Bible in less than a year with just 4 chapters a day. It's why it's an integral part of 60 Quest. If you are checking email before you read Scripture, you've already decided what controls you. Wake up, read 4 chapters. It'll take you 10 minutes. This is about setting the direction for your day, purposefully creating your day before the world sets it for you. Most men try to resist temptation through sheer willpower. That's exhausting. Jesus didn't say resist temptation. He said flee from it. Get out of the environment of temptation. Whatever the situation that you're in, get away from the things that pull you backwards. A disciplined man removes bad opportunity. Third, understand this is a process. You don't master your entire life in a week. Begin with something small. In the parable of the talents, the master said, "Well done, you have been faithful in the small things." Pick one discipline, one. Wake up at the same time every day, or no screens after 9 p.m. Stop the scroll, or 10 minutes of prayer before anything else. Do it for a week. Don't miss. When that chain is solid, add the next one. In 60 Quest, we focus on what we call the 1 for 1. Trade one disempowering action for one that empowers you. Master that thing, go on to the next. Mastering your life is a process. Mastering your life is the result of mastering yourself. You see, discipline's not a feeling. Discipline is a chain of decisions you refuse to make agreements with. Hebrews 12:1. Listen to this. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Did you catch that? Trained by it. Discipline is training, and training is what turns a boy into a man. When you get this, you understand that discipline is about creating a game you can win. God's not asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to be faithful, to show up, to do the work, to train. A godly man is not the one who never fails. He is the one who is committed, optimistic even when he doesn't want to be, and resilient even when he thinks he can't be, and then builds the wall so it doesn't happen again. That's discipline. That's self-mastery. That's Christian masculinity. That's masculine to the core for men who are committed, optimistic, resilient, and empowered by our masculine walk with God. So, here's my challenge for you. What is one thing in your life that you are no longer willing to settle for? Think about that. I mean, like now, you're done settling for it. Name it. That's the first step. Own the things that you are no longer willing to settle for. This is Masculine to the Core and the Man in the Arena podcast. This is Christian Masculinity number 2. Make sure you subscribe to get number 3. There's more to build here. So have a great day wherever you are. Bye for now.